Hello everyone, we're going to be learning how to read notes today. I've decided to do a group of videos since I've had several of my students request that I have videos that they could watch at home, so that's what we're going to do. Today we are going to be talking about just one group of notes. I normally teach note reading in 3 groups, so this video will just cover the first group. So before we get started with notes, there's a couple things we have to understand. The first thing is to be familiar with the staff. This group of 5 lines, which makes 4 spaces, is a staff. And most instruments, because they can only play 1 note or maybe 2 notes, most instruments only use 1 staff. But the piano, because we can play so many notes, and because the range of notes that the piano plays is so large, we actually need 2 staffs, or staves we call them. And what we do in piano is we hook them together with this brace. It's called a brace, and that makes it so that both of these staves will play at the same time. Okay, the next thing we need to know is this symbol, which is called the treble clef. And treble refers to the notes that are basically higher, so this is like middle C and above. And this is the equivalent for the low notes. This is called bass clef. And today we're going to be talking about some bass clef notes. Okay? Now another thing that we need to recognize before we can learn note names is we need to know whether our notes are a line note or a space note. And it's pretty basic. If the note, like this, the note head has a line right through the middle of it, then it's a line note. And if it sits in between lines, then it's a space note. And even if this note is, is blackened in, is colored in, has a stem or anything, we still look at whether the line goes right through the middle of the note head or whether the middle of the note head sits in between lines. Okay? And the last thing we need to know before we can start our note reading is we're going to learn 7 notes, and we're going to break these 7 notes into 2 groups. So I want you to be familiar with these groups. The first group is G, B, D, F. The second group is A, C, E. With these 2 groups, we can figure out any note on the staff or above or below the staff. And some of them go actually quite high above or below the staff and can be really difficult to read. So if you understand this concept, G, B, D, F, and A, C, E, it makes it so they become much easier to figure out quickly. Okay, so we're going to actually start with line notes today, and we're going to start down here in the bass clef. And we're going to start with the very first line at the bottom. And these first 4 line notes are G, B, D, F. So they come from the bottom, G, B, D, and F. The space notes, if you haven't guessed yet, are A, C, and E. And that is your first group of notes. So for all my students, I recommend that you pull these 7 cards out of your flashcards and just practice saying the names of those 7 cards. And come back for video 2, where we'll be talking about the second group of notes.